Hello, I'm starting with a stroppy child. This is kind of the point of this. A reality of being a mum tag. Now, this may catch on, it may not. It would be nice if it did, because in the run up to Christmas, I find that a lot of parents feel like they have to be perfect. They have to be like a Stepford wife. They have to get everything right, and she's going to have a temper tantrum, and I'm going to leave it in. You know, the reality of being a mum. You know, you always feel you have to be perfect and everything, and you feel like you're messing your kids up or something if you don't get it perfect. And I want this to, like, everyone to put it out there, not necessarily sit there and, oh, I'm so awful at everything. I'm not saying, like, put all your worst fears out online so people can rip into them. Just being honest and showing how life really is, and how it's completely different for lots of different people, and very similar for lots of different people. So let's find out, shall we? I'll put the questions below, and please do this if you feel like you would like to. I make so much sense. So 1, what's the hardest thing about being a mum? Now, this is going to probably end up being quite a long-winded rant because I've got this amazing ability to waffle a lot, but I'm going to try not to be too much of a special case. Mine is, in the best term I can put it, being everything I need to be all at once, individually, for my 3 completely different children. I find that hard. I find it hard to be the perfect mum to George at the same time as being the perfect mum to Alice and being the perfect mum to Edith, when they are so completely different and what they need is so completely different. And in the case of George and Alice, so completely opposite. And what I mean by that is George can read and write and everything. I'm not saying he can't, he can, but he doesn't really enjoy academic stuff. He doesn't really enjoy reading and writing, and he struggles. He does struggle. And Alice doesn't. Alice is like this small genius child who excels at anything academic. Actually excels at pretty much everything, which kind of sucks for George considering she's his little sister. And she is brilliant at singing and dancing, reading and writing, arts and crafts. She just all round amazing. The only thing that girl cannot do is shut up, and that's because she's mine. And I find it very hard to encourage George and be what George needs me to be to help him and build his confidence up when Alice is, and he's struggling to do something, and Alice is going, no, I can do that. That's really easy. George, it says this, blah, blah, blah. And it's really hard to encourage him and say, it's okay to not do this. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to struggle, and you're going to get there, and build his confidence, tell him how brilliant and wonderful he is, whilst telling Alice how brilliant and wonderful she is, without it making George feel bad, because she's better at everything than he is, pretty much. Bless his little cottons. And it's very hard to juggle that, because I want to be able to praise Alice and say, oh my God, your reading and writing is amazing. You are so good. Oh, wow, Alice, you astound me, without making George feel bad, because he can't do it as well as she can. Do you know what I mean? And I find that very difficult sometimes, really, truly difficult, because I want to build up Alice and praise her for everything she does so amazingly without it knocking George's confidence. And the thing is, if I did praise Alice for everything she does exactly how she deserves to really be praised, it probably would knock his confidence. And knocking his confidence is going to make it so much harder for George. So sometimes Alice loses out on what I would love to give her as praise. Because of George. But what I find I do now is Darren's going to take George out to go and see the Moshi Monsters movie and telling him how amazing and brilliant he is, and have some daddy time. George and I have special time alone as well. And then I have times where I take Alice out with me and we have girly time, and I tell her how amazing she is and explain, and I don't want to put pressure on her because she is 6, but explain to her that sometimes I can't go completely gushy crazy mad because it would make George sad, and George doesn't deserve to be sad because he's not doing anything wrong, and that's the only reason I don't go completely mad. And I do try and get Daddy to distract George of an evening and tell her quietly in private how amazing she is, and that I really am so very proud of her, because I am so proud. But I'm also so proud of my son, because her learning to read a book is brilliant and it's amazing and it's a brilliant talent. But if George manages to read that same book, it's so much of a bigger deal for him, because it's so much harder for him. Everything for Alice is just so easy. She's so blessed. But for George to do it is so amazing, because it's so not easy for him. And I'm so proud of that little boy, because he is, and I'm not going to cry, but I do get quite emotional. He is amazing, and he's got obstacles to overcome that Alice will never have. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him and so proud of her. She's such a little star. And it's very hard to be what they need me to be. And then at the same time, I have this 2-year-old who you can barely blink with her around sometimes. And she takes up so much time, so much energy. And I feel horrible for neglecting them sometimes because I'm busy with her. And that is the most difficult thing for me, personally, as a mother. That's what I find hard. 2, what's the most unexpected thing about being a mother? For me, the most unexpected thing is you don't realise just how much everything hits you, how awful you feel if you do go, oh, for God's sake, will you just get your shoes on and get in the car, we're running late. And how awful you feel for actually getting cross with your kids for not finding their shoes. To be fair, if they just put them on the shoe rack, they have their own shoe racks, their own coat pegs for them to put their own stuff. And it's infuriating when they don't do it. But you don't realise just how guilty you feel when you get things wrong. Like, how dare you snap at them, even though technically they kind of deserve to be, like, told off, but you feel so bad about it. And then you feel guilty that you're not the perfect mum, and you feel the judgment from other mums, like if you don't get it right. And it's just a lot of judgment in a lot of ways, a lot of guilt. So that may be the Catholicness of me, Catholicism, wow. And yeah, the unexpected thing is all the extras that come with it. It's not all black and white. It's all the grey sections that come with parenting. That is usually your own judgment or other people's judgment. I didn't expect that. That was a bit of a, okay then. Step back and take a moment to yourself. 3, what do you love the most? Now, there's so much about being a mum I love. So much. There really is. But for me, I think it's watching them grow. And I don't mean physically grow. That is actually a little bit heartbreaking. Oh, I suppose the most unexpected thing, throwing that in there, is how much I would mourn. And I don't mean this in a horrible way to anyone that's lost a child. And I'm so sorry if I do say this and it makes you sad, because I don't mean it like that. How much I mourn their past selves. Like what I would give. Didn't expect every birthday to make me want to bawl my eyes out, because I'm going to miss 5-year-old Alice, and I'm going to miss newborn George, and I'm going to miss, like, I kind of want to be able to go back and see newborn George again, 3-month-old, 6-month-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old George, and just snuggle them in just for a minute and relive every amazing, wonderful aspect of them. And I didn't expect that. And I've said this before in videos, but yeah, I didn't expect to mourn them in the past, losing newborn them and losing 2-year-old them. I hope you know what I mean. So sorry, jumping back there. I'm so good. I probably should have prepared this before I started filming. What do you love the most, as I was saying, is growing and changing. Watching them become people in their own right. Seeing how the world works, how the world seems in their eyes, and watching them grow and adapt and change. And being so proud of the people they're becoming, because they're good people, especially, and not in a rude way to Alice at all, especially George. He's such a good soul. He's such a kind little boy, and I'm wowed by them. I'm wowed by how amazing Alice is at everything. I'm wowed by how thoughtful and caring and empathetic George is. And I'm wowed by just how much determination is in such a small body with Edith. I've never known anything like it. She is amazing. 4, what, if anything, would you change? Again, classic mum response. I wish I had more patience. I wish I had more time. I wish I had the ability to go back and snuggle them at different stages in the past. I wish I pooped out £20 notes so that I could pay for Alice to go to theatre school, and George if he wanted, and do guitar lessons and anything else they wanted. That they wouldn't be spoilt. I would be able to, do clubs, not give them toys and everything. So I definitely agree with saying no a lot to kids, because I think it makes them better people. But I'd love to be able to do all the extracurricular activities they want, pay for all the uniforms and the clothes and the shoes and everything that they needed to do these things. That's what I would change, which is a very superficial thing, I do say, but I'm being honest, so apologies for being such a puddle and being so completely shallow you couldn't drown in my personality in that area of my life. 5, what words of wisdom do you have for other mums? I'm not sure I'd go as far to say wisdom, and I'm the one that wrote this, but whatever. That it's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to be flawed. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to get angry or cry or frustrated, as long as you know to step back and take a breath and know that you aren't really messing up your kids. Not really. That even if you have a screamy day, it's not going to damage them, as long as it's not too frequent and you don't beat them. That it's all right to be flawed, and it's all right to be imperfect, and that your kids are pretty much gonna love and adore and cherish you no matter what, and they probably think far more highly of you than you realize, and to just enjoy it because it goes fast, really fast, and that you're amazing exactly as you are. You are perfect exactly as you are, even flawed. It's a special kind of perfect. So yeah, that's it. If you want to join in, please do. As I said, the questions will be below if you want to add in any of your own. I'm sure not many other people will waffle as much as I do. And yeah, I'm going to get off now. Bye.